Love your parents and love each other. Enjoy the listen and good night, young stardusts. Once upon a time, there was a little girl named Red Riding Hood who lived in a village near a forest. One day, her mother sent her to visit her sick grandmother, who lived in a cottage on the other side of the woods. Red Riding Hood was given a basket filled with delicious food to take to her grandmother. Remember, stay on the path and don't talk to strangers, her mother warned her. Red Riding Hood set off on her journey, merrily strolling through the forest. Along the way, she met a cunning wolf who pretended to be friendly. "Where are you going, little girl?" asked the wolf. "I'm going to my grandmother's house to bring her some food," she replied innocently. The wolf, always scheming, thought of a plan. "Why don't you pick some flowers to take to your grandmother too?" he suggested. Red Riding Hood, enticed by the idea, wandered off the path to gather flowers. While she was busy, the wolf quickly ran to Grandma's cottage, knocked on the door, and pretended to be Red Riding Hood. "Come in, my dear," called Grandma, thinking it was her granddaughter. The wolf entered, pounced on Grandma, and locked her in the closet. Then he disguised himself in her clothes and lay in bed, waiting for Red Riding Hood to arrive. A little while later, Red Riding Hood knocked on the door. "Who is it?" asked the wolf, mimicking Grandma's voice. "It's me, Red Riding Hood," she replied. "Come in, dear," said the wolf. Red Riding Hood entered and noticed something seemed odd about her grandmother. "Grandma, what big ears you have," she exclaimed. "All the better to hear you with," replied the wolf. "And Grandma, what big eyes you have." "All the better to see you with." "And Grandma, what big hands you have." "All the better to hug you with," said the wolf. But when Red Riding Hood remarked, "Oh, Grandma, what big teeth you have," the wolf could no longer contain his hunger and yelled, "All the better to eat you with." Just as the wolf was about to pounce on Red Riding Hood, a woodsman who was passing by heard her screams. He burst into the cottage, fought the wolf, and rescued both Red Riding Hood and her grandmother from the closet. "Oh, thank you, brave woodsman," said Red Riding Hood and her grandmother in relief. The wolf was chased deep into the forest, never to bother anyone again. From that day on, Red Riding Hood learned to always follow her mother's advice, stay on the path and avoid strangers. And they all lived happily ever after. That's the story of Red Riding Hood in a nutshell.